I'm Bill DeFoi, and welcome to It's Just That Simple. And joining me right now is my co-host and a very good friend and a lovely lady to boot, Michele Wilson. Michele, good to have you back.
Thank you for having me back, and it's always a pleasure.
Well, listen, we've got a great topic to talk about, and that's going on in the internet. There's a lot of fraud, abuse, and scams going on.
Yes, and I should be interviewing you because you were sharing with me a couple of stories that you've had some identity theft issues going on the past few weeks.
I have actually 3 stories.
Okay.
2 are kind of very similar. I've had 2 different incidences where I've had text messages from individuals who claimed to be a certain individual. Turned out that they were scammers. And then I had another story that involved my cell phone service where people had gotten into my account, had ordered a couple of cell phones, and had them shipped to Las Cruces, New Mexico. And the cell phone company had alerted me to the fact that somebody had hacked into my account. And then all of a sudden, I get a call from the UPS shipping store in Las Cruces saying, "By the way, Mr. DeFoi, your cell phones are here. When can you come and pick them up?" To which I said, "They're not mine. Somebody ordered the cell phones in my name, had them shipped to your store for a pickup by a third party that would have had all my identifying information except for a picture ID." We get it, we understand, because this store has been a center for this kind of trafficking for the last couple of months.
Wow, and it's very fortunate that the person who stole your identity wasn't too bright to use your phone number and have them give you a call, so you were alerted pretty quickly that happened.
Well, and here's the thing with the company that I deal with, and I won't mention Verizon's name, but Verizon did notify me via text message, "Please go to your account and verify this transaction." Well, I kind of put it off thinking, well, I had just made a payment that day. Quite literally, I just made a payment on my account. And I get this text, "Oh, it's probably to verify my account, but they've never done this before." So I let it go. Later on in that afternoon, I get a call from Verizon saying, "By the way, Mr. DeFoi, we need for you to verify the purchase of 2 cell phones." And I went, "Those aren't mine." Well, immediately they put me through to the fraud department. We filed a report. A few days later, I get this call from the UPS store. "By the way, Mr. DeFoi, the phones are here." And I'm saying, "Send them back." I called the fraud department again. That was it. Taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, taken care of pretty quickly. So like you said, it's a ring and it's happening all the time, and they even have a department that just handles fraud, and that's really unfortunately today that getting a cell phone, especially with the internet and so forth, you don't have to be in the store to actually have ID and so forth. So they're going to try anything to see if they can get those phones and those purchases, and sometimes they get caught, a lot of times they don't get caught.
And the other story, unrelated to the first 2, is through PayPal. I get an email. In fact, our producer, Paul, was with me when I got these emails saying, "PayPal wants to verify this purchase." Boom, boom, boom. And there was like 6 or 7 of these. And I went through and I totaled them all up, and it was involving about $125. And I said, I've got to go take care of this. Well, I went home. I got onto my laptop and got the number for PayPal. I had it there and talked to PayPal, and they said, "I'm glad you caught it. We can deal with it because you caught it so quickly." And eventually all the money was restored in whole, and they were able to track down the perpetrator.
Unreal, but 17% of that's considered financial identity theft, and really that's minor, but we hear it all the time in the news, that money getting taken out. And like with PayPal, a lot of times people, they take out a little amount so that you can't catch it, and if you're not paying attention, especially we're in a society where we're using our debit cards on the internet a lot, so we all have transactions coming out of our bank accounts all the time. So a lot of times it's sometimes difficult for us to even catch it, but you were fortunate that you were, really aware when the text message came in and you took care of it right away, because sometimes, if it's too long, you could be responsible for those charges.
Exactly, and that's what PayPal had told me. You caught it right away, and that's a good thing. Fortunately for me, I have it set up with PayPal, and I recommend this with anybody. If you're going to set up an account with PayPal, you make sure that they notify you and to confirm each and every purchase or transaction that you make to verify that this dollar amount is going to come out of your checking, savings, or bank account of some nature on such and such a date for such and such amount. And you're absolutely right, Michele. These were small dollar amounts, $7, $8, but it added up to a little over $100 for the
Right.
total amount of the transactions.
And sometimes, it's just a little amount, but I think they're also testing the account to see if you can catch it, and then they'll, come back and withdraw a big amount. So that's another reason why sometimes the withdrawals are a little bit small. So yeah.
So I was able to catch it on time. The money was put back in, and we put up some safeguards on PayPal, changed the password, changed some other things. So it's not where it can't be penetrated again, because it will be, or could be at some point. But at least for now, the account is protected.
And like I said, now that you're aware of it, you'll probably be checking your statements a lot more, more on a regular basis, just to make sure it doesn't happen again. Like I said, we have a lot of accounts that we're having things being withdrawn, and keeping up with all those accounts and so forth can be challenging. But now that you've had this kind of breach, you'll probably be a little bit more careful and just keep an eye on it. So yeah.
So Michele, giving the theme of our program, it's just that simple. What are some simple precautions that people can take?
Well, the first one is, like I said, is just being educated. We just talked about 17%, which is financial, but I would want you to get educated of other ways that identity theft can be manifested. Like in your situation, if they hacked your account, they may have been able to get your phone number, your address, some identifying information, and then they're going to go out there and use it and create accounts that are not even linked to you. And that's where the problem comes in, because you're not even linked to those accounts. So, you just really want to be more educated on how identity theft can manifest in different ways, and then what you can do to protect yourself.
Well, it's just that simple.
Just that simple.
I tell you what, I was very fortunate. I did catch it all in time. Now, with Facebook, it was a matter of somebody, portraying somebody else. And with the first one, there was a lot of conversation back and forth, and it involved a scam, really, where they wanted me to text this particular number and get some information or verify my identity. And I'm going, there's no way I'm going to do this. That's number one. And I didn't, by the timing of the message as I was getting on Facebook, one was sent at like 2 a.m. Well, I'm asleep at 2 a.m. I'm not awake. And so they were saying, hello, are you there? I got some important information. And then during the daytime, I got another text. So it's like, okay, I'm going to find out a little bit more. And this individual says, yeah, we got this, and you're entitled to X number of dollars. And, it was sent out by FedEx. And I'm going, FedEx doesn't send money. Mm-hmm. Come on, this is usually a wire transaction. I would have been more probably susceptible if they had said Western Union or a MoneyGram, but no, they were saying FedEx. That, to me, was a major red flag.
Yeah, and it's amazing how there are actually people out there that will get scammed and will click on the link, and that would be my second, it's that simple. Just don't click on links. But you had a gut feeling. Your intuition told you something was wrong. So listen to that gut feeling. And, why don't you just make a phone call and call your friend on Facebook and see if you can talk to them, on the phone or face to face, to make sure that, that they were the person. You also want to let that person know that, hey, your account is being hacked, so yeah.
I don't know if it was a gut feeling or the ice cream and pickles I had the night before. So it's one of these things. But yes, it was a gut feeling. And having been the victim of identity theft many years ago, I have a heightened awareness of what's going on. And this person was portraying somebody that I know that is very well respected in the community. And then I had another series of text messages over Facebook just a few days ago from a very well-known and very distinguished individual in the news business. And I'm going, this doesn't sound like Pete. No, it's it's not at all. And sure enough, somebody had posted to his Facebook page, "By the way, Pete, I think you've been scammed." His son sent out a message later on saying, "Thank you guys, we're aware of it. The offending party has been caught and they're shutting him down." So to me, that was being very proactive from the Facebook community.
Yeah, just being aware of what's going on with your profiles. I heard a story too that because we have our pictures that we're posting and so forth, people can actually download your picture, use your photo, and open up an account. And like you said, if you are really good friends with someone, you know their language and what they say and so forth like that. And in your case, you just say, "Oh, this doesn't sound like him." But what about those who are out there that have no idea that they're perpetrating, someone else? And so it's happened. Social media has definitely, they say it's a secured network, but people have access. And so one of the things I would do, you might want to change your profile to more private friends as opposed to public. But like I said, it was your friend's account that got hacked, and they came after you. So it's a little bit difficult to do that.
And I've even taken the step in security at Facebook to, a little different level, because people are wanting to post to the timeline.
Right.
So I've said, no, I don't want just anybody to post. I want to review each post as it comes through. And yes, from Heritage Media, I get everything that we do to be posted. And yes, I'll just automatically click that. But others, it's like, no, I really don't want it. So I'll say, no, just hide it. I don't want it.
Yep, same here. I use my Facebook for business, and unfortunately, there's some folks out there yet, don't quite see. They post everything, and I always I have my daughter. She loves to post, and I said, just be very careful of what you post, because that's going to follow you forever. I mean, once ever goes out on the web, it stays there, and even if you're a victim of identity theft, that information is out there. So there's actually, reputation management. There's actually companies that, especially if you're in business and so forth, will scan the web and make sure that there is nothing out there that not only just identity theft, but just making sure that your reputation is being protected.
Yeah, I think there's even a service out there called Reputation Defenders or something like that.
Yes.
That will help you and assist you, but nothing is 100% foolproof. You have to be very proactive with your own accounts.
Very proactive, and changing your passwords on a regular basis, making sure that your passwords are kind of encrypted, just not the easy password. You don't want to use your family members' names or your birth dates or anything like that, and you want to put different special symbols. So just being able to change your password on a regular basis can help you.
Exactly. And I know from our conversations here on It's Just That Simple that, I was given even more of a heightened awareness when these things started to happen. And so it came, a lot of our conversations have come to mind. And so it's just, like I said, it's a matter of being proactive, taking the steps, taking them post haste to make sure that your identity is not compromised, where larger sums of money could be taken out at a future point in time.
Yeah, I always say, I believe your identity is like your most important asset, and I think, people will put viruses on their computer. I'm like, you need to get a virus protection for your identity now, because if someone takes your identity and uses it, in a crime or financial, that could devastate you, and it takes years unless you have a professional cleaning up the mess for you. So you got to treat your identity just as important as an asset, like your house or your car. And when you get car insurance, you protect it before it happens. You can't get protection after you have a wreck. So that's how you want to treat your identity.
Wonderful. Michele, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, they can call me. My phone number is 805-304-5088. You can also go to my website. It's Michele Wilson International, and Michele spelled with Michele, just one L, or you can email me at michele@michelewilsoninternational.com.
Wonderful. Michele Wilson, It's Just That Simple. And thank you for joining us. It's Just That Simple is a production of the Heritage Media Group.
Audio Jungle.